To the Green Chamber now, where the House of Representatives on Thursday rejected a motion urging the federal government to declare a state of emergency on factors predisposing youths to leaving the country. This comes on a day the legislators moved to address the lingering issues of gas flaring by oil and gas companies. National Assembly correspondent BabajideSanwo-Olu reports on this.
The word Japa as a Yoruba coinage, which translates to leaving the country, has become the new catchphrase for migration by desperate Nigerians in search of greener pastures. A report by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs put the international emigration from Nigeria in 2020 at 1.7 million from 990,000 in 2010. That figure has since grown. Poor living wages, growing insecurity, unemployment and poor living conditions are some of the reasons adduced. Sectors such as health, information, technology, education and banking suffer the most.
Second emotion, ably move.
It is in addressing the astronomical increase in the number of young brains getting out of the country that Benue legislator Philip Agbese comes with a motion aiming for a national summit that will address these predisposing factors.
In line with the renewed hope team of the President Bola Tinubu administration, the triggers that predispose young Nigerians to find a choice to leave the country attractive, which make young people frustrated, demands a declaration of state of emergency in order to address this syndrome.
But the motion failed to fly, as some members insist it contravenes the provision of the Constitution.
It's the liberty of a Nigerian if he is qualified and he is normal and he has all the grant rights of movement anywhere he wants.
Let there be national summit so that all these factors will be given priority.
In another motion, the lawmakers resolved to probe the unending problem of gas flaring by some oil companies with a view to finding a lasting solution.
In the last decade, approximately 9.05 billion US dollars has been lost to gas flaring. This money would have offset 23.62% of the country's total foreign debt of 38.32 billion US dollars.
Meanwhile, the sponsor of the motion of the Japa syndrome says he will represent it before his colleagues.
The motion failed because, as it is not an issue that people who are just coming out of election have been able to abreast themselves with. But I believe that in the next couple of days, I'm going to visit my colleagues. I'm going to talk to them.
The House has adjourned plenary to July 4, but before the adjournment, the Speaker announced the composition of 7 other committees that will put things in shape pending the setting up of the substantive committees. BabajideSanwo-Olu, TVC News, Abuja.
Few hours after the Central Bank of Nigeria announced the unification of all segments of the Forex exchange market, the Organized Private Sector and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria have welcomed the monetary policy by President Bola Tinubu. Senior correspondent Shaoni Jackson reports that the statement was made at the ongoing 111th ILO conference in Geneva, Switzerland.
Following the Naira exchange rate unification by the federal government of Nigeria, several reactions has continued to trail this development at the 111th International Labour Organization Conference. Organized private sector and organized labor spoke about this development.
It has affected us from all ends. A situation where you create billionaires a day without doing a job. A situation where someone goes to CBN, he gets allocation of $10 million at 450, then he simply cross over to another window and at once go to parallel market and make a difference of 300 to 400 naira per every dollar. By the time you do the calculation, you could see how much such person is going home with.
It will make available more dollar over time, and then the forces of demand and supply would always determine what the rate should be. So we appreciate what has happened. We're watching. The other thing for manufacturers and business leaders in Nigeria is the fact that now you can plan your business, you can plan your procurement, you can plan even your sales. You can decide on what is it that you want to do.
As President Bola Ahmed Tinubu begins monetary policy reforms, it's expected that this move will attract foreign investment, create new jobs, which will in turn improve the economy. Sharon Ijason, TVC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
The National Youth Service Corps has expressed concern over the non-compliance with laid-down procedures for data uploads by Corps-producing institutions. The NYSC Director-General, Yishau Ahmed, said this at the 2023 Batch B pre-mobilization workshop held in Abuja. Helen Osamede King's reports.
One of the key mandates of the National Youth Service Corps is to mobilize eligible graduates of Nigerian origin for national service. But the scheme has been confronted with occasional mobilization of unqualified persons, many of whom have been detected by NYSC field officers. This pre-mobilization workshop is to interface with student affairs officers of Corps-producing institutions and other key mobilization officers to critically evaluate the mobilization process for improved service delivery.
Director-General, please.
The Director-General of the scheme voices his concerns as it relates to mobilization of Corps members. He challenges those involved in mobilization process to be more focused and ensure qualified candidates are not denied enrollment for service.
Permit me to use this forum to once again voice our concern about observed dichotomy between uploads and hard copies documents of prospective Corps members, which has unfortunately always led to their denial of enrollment for service.
A lot is still required to be done if we are to achieve the goal of a seamless and excellent mobilization process. We must continue to make conscious efforts that will thoroughly eradicate the growing trend of data disparity between uploads by the Corps-producing institutions and the information supplied by prospective Corps members during the NYSC online registration.
The theme for the workshop is re-strategizing the NYSC mobilization process for optimal performance in the Golden Jubilee era. It stresses the scheme's commitment to creating an environment that fosters growth and development of the mobilization process.
The lessons learned from the implementation of decisions reached at the last workshop are expected to influence deliberations towards better performance in this 2023 Batch B mobilization exercise. Helen Osamede Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
The Lagos State Governor, BabajideSanwo-Olu, has joined residents and Nigerians for a special prayer in remembrance of the late Iyaloja-General of the Association of Nigerian Market Women and Men, Alhaja Abibatu Ashabi Mogaji. Senior correspondent Adedoja Salamadeni was at the venue of the 10th year Fidau of the late market leader.
The Fidau is organized by the Lagos State government. The lectures are centered on good character and charity. The clerics want people to emulate the act of giving that the late mother of the president, Mogaji, known for. Governor BabajideSanwo-Olu says her legacy in service, compassion and empowerment would forever be an inspiration to many.
This was a great woman. This was a mother indeed. This was a mother that wanted the very best for our children, for our grandchildren, and for everybody that had an interaction with her. What is left behind is still being a good name that all of us are attributed to.
The late Iyaloja-General grandchildren also shared moments with her.
Whenever she prays for the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, she always said Abuja straight after all her prayers. And today, our prayers has been answered.
An illustrious woman who lived a life of selfless service and making sure that people's lives were different from what it was when she meets them.
In his remembrance note, President Bola Tinubu said, "Mami, you are a mother in a million. Can I ever forget how you selflessly sold virtually all your jewelry to raise funds that enabled me to travel abroad in pursuit of the golden fleece in the United States? I wish you were around to witness my assumption of office as the 16th president of Nigeria. Barely educated, Abibatu Mogaji was honored with doctorate degree by the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in recognition of her unrelenting efforts towards empowering women across Nigeria. She was a business magnate and strong political figure who saw politics as means of meeting the needs of the needy.
Lord, we pray that eternal rest will continue to grant unto her.
The late Abibatu Ashabi Mogaji died on Saturday, 15th of June, 2013, at the age of 97. She was buried on 16th June, according to Islamic rites, at the Ikoyi Vaults and Gardens in Lagos. Adedoja Salam Adeniyi, TVC News, Lagos.